make that intro. Hold on. Okay, now it's ready. Go, Brady.
Welcome back to the channel.
See, and you used to give me a hard time for that saying, and here you are. You do it in your videos.
You gotta have charisma.
Okay, so what, here we are. So I guess first we need to update and then we'll get into the current discussion.
I think it's like 3 days until we leave for race week.
3 days, and by we don't mean Joe. Joe's not going.
Yeah.
We'll get that out of the way. I'm not going to be there. I've actually had several people message me asking if I'm coming. So we'll talk about that in a sec, but here we are. So we did these videos a year ago. The same thing. I started videos like a couple days before race week, maybe a week or so. Yep. This time we're a little later, but we started some videos a few days before race week. I'm currently sitting in the Camaro, so I guess let's get them up to speed. Since last year, we had a catastrophic failure last year.
Yeah, a little bit of engine problems.
Which I made a video on that. I think I discussed our thing was over before it started.
You did it high level. Like, I don't know.
So there was, and I mean, we don't really need to go into details. It wasn't like a builder error or anything like that. Okay. It was
me messing
it was a user error. We don't have to go into details, but no, I mean, stuff happens when you're building and working on these things. I've messed up plenty. Brady's messed up plenty. Dave's messed up plenty. People mess up stuff when you're working on cars. That's just how it is.
The rule is learn from your mistakes.
Learn from your mistakes. So since then, he fixed the engine. He sent it back to the engine builder, Skog and Dickey. There they are. They're great people to work with. Aaron and Kurt down there went through everything. Everything had a clean bill of health. They just had to fix the one problem.
Well, we can tell them it was one bent valve.
It was one bent valve.
I bent during mechanical timing, checking top dead center. Like it was on me. So
when we got there, it was, we were having problems with power and boost leaks. Like we kept adding boost and it wasn't going any faster. And then we did a compression check and we noticed that one cylinder was not there. And like we were really questioning, like, can one cylinder really cause all these problems? Sure enough, yes. The answer is yes. Because we were kind of debating even after it was all fixed, like, is there still a problem? No. Like, I just don't see one barely bent valve, and it wasn't zero compression. The cylinder still had compression. We were like, there's no way this is robbing hundreds of horsepower, like 500 horsepower. No way. Sure enough, yes, the answer is yes, it can. And it does. So we got it all back, or he got it all back together. Like, so he sent the motor off. Scoggin gave it a clean bill of health. They fixed the one valve. Everything else checked out fine. And they, they set up all the valves and the valve springs while they had it to make sure, because some were just a little off. So they did custom push rods.
No, right? They were able to use my custom.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay, so never mind. But they checked all that while it was there.
They double checked.
They double checked all the geometry. It was the rocker stands. We got new ones and made sure, and that was a consistency issue. Okay, anyways. So they got it back, and then after that, he takes it to Dallas.
Yeah, went 873 at 160 in Dallas.
And went good numbers. Yep. And that was on the old turbo. Yep. So so here, my goal for this quick part right here, already at 3 minutes, I'm trying to get faster on my videos, because I will talk forever. So since then, he redid the turbo kit. He upgraded turbos, and he started putting some videos on his channel. Shameless plug here.
Road Trip 120 on YouTube.
There you go. If I know how to do one of those card things, I did on my last video. I'll put that here. I'll put a little link so you can go check out his stuff. But so he upgraded the turbo, and we had to modify. And I do say we because I did some of this and I helped with a lot of this. So he had to end up modifying the downpipe, the turbo mount, the hot side.
Not the hot side, the cold side.
But you modified the hot side since the last turbo, didn't you?
No, I bolted right up.
Okay.
I bolted it to the verge.
Okay.
Fit everything else around it.
But you've redone the hot side since I did it. Why'd you redo the hot side? You redid the hot side since I did it.
Yeah. I switched turbos. Because I had the wastegates way out by the frame rails and I hated it.
So when did you do that?
That was like 2 years ago.
So that was before last race week?
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. I think our timing's a little off. It doesn't matter. But so we upgrade turbos. So this is a Jose S494.
Yep.
Your old one was S485. right?
Yeah, because we had set it up for stock block. Well, now it's got a built 5.3.
So yes, built 5.3 now.
And the car's a little heavy, so.
And it's heavy, so you upgraded the turbo just to get some more turbo out of it. Is that all you did in the engine bay? Cleaned up like catch cans? And
we added EGTs because that would have been a lot easier to diagnose at the track last year. Right? No, it had motor play. Okay. Did dual catch cans, did a transmission catch can.
Okay. We'll go over that stuff later.
Alternator bracket. That alternator bracket is awesome from Motion.
You like that?
That one doesn't flex one bit.
Hashtag Motion Raceworks. Of course, Dougie's got great stuff. We all know that. So you upgraded a bunch of stuff here, and then just recently it went in 890 in Amarillo. Which, if no one knows, Amarillo is a terrible drag strip here. I mean, our
traction is just not what other tracks are.
Exactly. It's an old bracket track. The surface isn't smooth. They don't prep it good. And we're at super high altitude. The air is really bad here.
DA, the car's going to run slower. It takes forever to get up on the converter.
Yeah, so, well, that's the tuner's fault. So in all this, it went 890 here, which is actually, so for the car's best time being an 870, it does an 890 here, and we're still on baby boost. I mean, it's really good. So the car's showing tons of improvements.
We're going to have to turn it up to run 850 at race week.
True that. Tell your tuner to quit being a little, anyways.
I'll send him an email.
I'm the tuner. Anyways, so we also did torque boxes. So we were concerned the anti-squat numbers weren't the best.
I've got a picture of that for you.
Okay, so Brady will send me a picture of the torque boxes, so we couldn't get the angles in the rear where we wanted them. So I bought these awesome torque boxes that Tick makes. They're really awesome. And then he prepped it all, and I came up by and laid some pretty beads. But that gets his angle more aggressive, so he can get more separation. He sent off the rear shocks. And got them changed up, and sure enough, the front ones as well.
We had to fix the hole in the gas tank because it rubbed.
Yeah, fixed some of that. But anyway, so the suspension's working great now.
Yeah.
So that would be changes for this year. All new suspension, pretty much. He even did a bunch of tubular stuff in the front.
Yeah, I did upper lower A-arms because the old stuff was good. It was streetcar stuff. It would make noise when you push the car up and down, like it was.
And the wheel binded, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now the wheel's free. It moves up and down. Everything's spherical. It's drag race BMR. Is it Rock Solid? Raceworks.
I don't know. I don't think Rock Solid makes that stuff. I don't think Steven does.
Burkhart chassis.
Midwest chassis? Or Burkhart?
No, it's Burkhart because it's Burkhart spindle and upper lower A-arms.
Lots of great companies make this stuff. They're all good.
Yeah.
But it's all lighter, thinner chromoly for drag racing. Yeah. So it's good stuff. So in all that, we tested the suspension here, and sure enough, it showed great promise. Part of that 890 was the suspension. We're finally getting the 60 foot down, even for Amarillo, and the car's finally separating good and making good passes. I have a video maybe I'll put here. I probably won't, but hopefully I do. So then the last piece was cooling, right? So torque boxes, welded a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like I've welded on more things than those few things. Like, surely I welded on more. I mean, I feel like I've welded more than just those couple things. Yeah. I mean, that's small stuff. Okay, so moving on. So then the last thing was cooling. So if you notice on the front of this car, it doesn't have a lot of fresh inlet. There's only like 2 little bitty holes, and realistically, those are going to the radiator. He used to have a transcooler up here, but we were like, man, the radiator needs to get all the fresh air. So there's just no room up here to put coolers. So he ended up doing these B&M, whatever. What kind of were the old coolers?
They're derail.
Okay.
They're just
your standard 16 row, whatever, fin tube coolers.
Comes with a fan.
Yeah, he had 2 of these in the back. And they were doing okay.
But I don't think it's only like 15 or 20,000 BTUs.
Sorry, we were interrupted. There was a little inspiring fan out there. There they go. I don't want to show them privacy concerns here, but that little kid wanted to talk about race cars, and Brady was kind enough to let him sit in.
He didn't understand it was a street car. He kept calling it a race car.
Shots fired. Says the guy that doesn't have a hood.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's under a project at the moment.
But like a lot of people don't understand like stuff like that when kids are little like that. Like that's life-changing stuff right there. So Brady let him sit in the car. And like he said, he races it at the track, and the little kid looks at his mom and goes, "I told you so." Like, anyways, that was great. So she should subscribe to the channel. I should have told her. Anyways, so we were talking about the coolers. Like they're fine coolers, and they actually worked halfway decent in this car. But, always room for improvement. With the trailer, and when it was 105 degrees out in Texas, like, the trans temps were just creeping. They wasn't like red flag material. It was just warmer than we'd like.
It was north of 200. It just wouldn't cool off. Like, we upgraded the fans on the radiator, and it would cool off once you got it at the traffic light. But because all the hot air transfers back underneath the car, it would just heat everything up.
So look at this craziness. So this guy had an idea. And let me make sure I pronounce them right. They're NACA ducts, right? N-A-C-A.
Yep.
So they're NACA ducts. And you'll see these in like NASCARs. They'll have them like in the quarter windows. These don't have quarter windows, but they'll have them in the quarter windows. And they'll have them like flush mount, and then they'll have, like 2 tubes, and they'll go back to whatever coolers. Like newer Corvettes have vents back here that allow air in, and they'll cool, they have like diff coolers and all sorts of coolers and stuff back there. Well, Brady knew, like, hey, there's a lot. When you're cruising 60 miles an hour with the windows down in these things, there is a ton of air right here. So, and he has a video. You can go check it out on his channel. But he's, like, sat back in a friend's car and, like, held his hand up around here and was like, where's all the air? And he found the spot. And then he goes and buys these carbon fiber NACA ducts. And then he has me come do this impossible welding to this roll cage up there.
Fun. You didn't even burn my headliner.
Yeah, and so and then he builds the cage and everything. I didn't do any of that. I'm finally pushing him to do more welding himself. And I mean, that's the way. Like my first welds were terrible.
That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. You just got to go do it. So he builds these awesome looking cages. They look really great. Like I was really impressed how they ended up. And he's got these huge ducts. And he has this T-top delete panel, and all this is sealed. And they go here. And then let me go underneath. This has got a good, whatever. So it'll show them. Okay, so then he's got these huge coolers down here, and it's all sealed. So these are like the huge fancy derail coolers.
BTU.
Yeah, like crazy amounts of heat, and then they got fans already on them. But anyways, it's all sealed to the ducts. So now when he's going 60 miles an hour down the road, those are trapping insane amount of air and forcing them right into the coolers. So it's like you have the coolers at the front of the car.
Yep.
But there's no room at the front of the car, so they're in the back, but they're getting fresh air.
You gotta think outside the box.
Genius idea. He still hasn't gotten me the data numbers. So I want him on like a 100-degree day. So you've disconnected and done a drive and then put them back into... no.
We did a drive when it was 90 before.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
And then we did a drive
but
with 90.
That was with the new coolers?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And how many degrees difference was it?
Almost 30.
Yeah, so I was thinking it's going to be over 20. So I want the data of like disconnect the hoses and go make a drive when it's 100 degrees outside for like an hour. Drive 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, and log me starting temps, mid temps, and end temps, and then hook them back up and go do the same thing. But I mean, he's saying he did it pretty close to that test, and it was almost 30 degrees. That's crazy. Super cool. So I'm anxious to see how it performs throughout the week. But anyway, so now fast forward. Now we're 10 minutes into this already. See how quick it goes?
Why is the hood off?
Why is the hood off? Oh, yeah, that's what we were arguing about. Discussing. We were discussing. So he's
Joe's experience against my crazy ideas.
So Brady's got crazy ideas, which are good. You have to innovate. I'm not saying that they're not good ideas. I'm just concerned about the priority of it. So
He's got 3 days.
Yeah, he's got 3 days. He's complaining about engine bay heat. He's not having coolant temp problems. He's not having any temp problems per se.
It's like 188 cruising.
Don't mess with it. Anyways, so he takes his hood off. So he's like, well, I can make a cruise without the hood if I have to. It's like, dude, if you're not having temp problems, and the temps next week are supposed to be in the 80s, it's not supposed to be hot. But he's worried about it. So he like overnights some louvers to cut holes in his hood and put the louvers in. I'm like, dude, like 3 days from race week, that should be the least of your priority if you're not having temp problems. If you were overheating, last year we were making major cooling system changes days before.
Yeah.
This year, everything's working accordingly good. I think he's just bored.
Like
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know why, but he's wanting to put these louvers in his hood, and I'm telling him time would be better spent. He has no long distance driving. He's done some drives around our loop, which is short. Even if you were to do it continuous, it wouldn't take an hour.
It took me more than an hour, but I stopped.
But he stopped. But so like I'm thinking like, dude, you got to make 200-mile drives next week. Like I think his time would be better spent driving an hour without stopping and not stopping, turning around and driving back 2 hours straight without doing it. Let's make sure all the fittings are tight, and let's just make a long road test on everything to make sure it can do it and it's good and the temps won't creep and so on and so forth. He is wanting to spend his last 2 days cutting a hood, trimming, doing this, painting louvers, and getting it all installed and getting it all ready. So I guess right now everyone needs to comment below with no more information. What do you think is the appropriate thing? Should he, because we all know the louvers are going to extract heat. I'm not debating that. I know the louvers are going to help heat. It'll probably help coolant temps.
But where would my time be best spent?
Exactly. It'll probably even help trans and oil temps as well. It will probably help all temps putting louvers in your hood. I don't disagree with that. But is that a best use of time 3 days before a week-long drag and drive event?
I guess I'm fairly confident in my work. But parts do fail. You do mess up.
How'd that work last year for you?
You do make
Zinger!
You do make mistakes. And you better learn from them because they're costly.
They are. But so leave your comment below. What does everyone think he should do? Should he put the louvers in and try to get out as much heat as possible and spend the last of his resources and time on that? Or should he be testing long distance drives and proving the car and the capability that it can make long distance drives? And it has not.
I would like to know, it did drive to Canyon for ice cream.
I'm not saying it hasn't made. Canyon is 10 miles.
It's further than Dave's
10 miles. Oh,
that
hurts. That hurts. Anyways, so that's where we're at. I am not going to drag week this year. I guess let's wrap this up and then we'll set the camera and we'll just kind of both talk real quick. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm not going this year. I mentioned in my last video, but I started a new job. Just recently. I'm not even 2 weeks into my new job, and there's a whole bunch of circumstances I'm not going to bore you guys with. But I had been planning on going this entire year. I've been going to the track with them. We've been working on the tune, the suspension. I have plenty of hours helping get this thing ready. But it's unfortunate. I do have to put my career first. And I just can't get off work. I'm only 2 weeks in, whatever. Long story short, I can't go. So Sterling's going to fill in for me. He helped us last year he was in Oklahoma. So he was there. He's got plenty of wrench time on the car. So they'll be good to go. They're leaving Sunday.
Bright and early.
And hopefully, Brady, are you going to vlog and post videos throughout the week?
My plan is to vlog during
Nice.
the day, get some footage for you guys, obviously give you updates on the car, the progress, and
have some passes and stuff?
yeah, have some passes. Me on the side of the road working on my car.
No. You say it's ready. You don't need to test that.
She's pretty ready.
So, okay, I'm looking forward to that. I hope you do that because I want to watch and follow along. I brought all the stuff to do that last year. We don't know if it's feasible, so this is kind of like our first drag and drives. To be able to vlog, get passes, and then edit all that and upload it to YouTube at night when you're probably already going to be going on virtually no sleep and only gas station burritos for the entire week.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems aggressive. I wish you the best of luck. I really want to have the updates as you go next week. I think it'll be cool.
I think it'd be good for you and any of my other friends that are watching, to give you daily updates and progress since you can't be there.
No, and since also I know in that environment, you're not going to be able to be texting on your phone a whole bunch. So it's not like I'm going to be sitting there, hey, how's it going today? And he's sitting there doing nothing. Oh, well, let me tell you about all this. You don't have time for that. I may be able to, I'll probably be texting Sterling most because he'll be in the passenger seat on the drive. So he'll be able to fill me in on updates. And then I'll be helping with tunes. He'll be, hitting me with log files and we'll be working on the tunes and whatnot. But, so we wish everyone go follow Brady. we're wishing him the best of luck next week. Last year, we're out first day with a mechanical failure.
We got to redeem ourselves.
I don't even think you care. I mean, we're competitive people. We care. But at the end of the day right now, everyone, I think, that is close to the project just wants to see the car make the week.
Yeah.
Like, let's just hit all the tracks, make passes at every track. I don't care what it runs. We do, but we don't. Yeah. And let's just finish the week.
That's the goal.
So, follow along. It's going to be great. I wish I could be there and editing and posting videos for everyone, but you'll have to go check out his channel and follow along. And then maybe we'll do like a post-race interview on my channel afterwards, and we'll talk about everything. I think that'd be a cool little follow-up for everyone. So, anyways, good luck to Brady. Go follow him on his channel, and let's wish him luck.
Thanks, guys.